for February 23rd, 2026. I'd like to welcome everyone. Before we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, I do want to say, in case some of you get texts from your friends, Channel 22, Comcast, is not connecting with us for some reason. And other than that, please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. I don't know if I said it, but it was 5:36 when we were starting. Okay. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Phillips.
Here.
Councilmember Fletcher.
Here.
Councilmember Nutter.
Here.
Councilmember Hilst.
Here.
Councilmember Abel.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Hoheimer. Mayor Burris.
Here. Seeing we have a quorum of 6 with 1 absent, we will conduct business. Chair would now entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda, please.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Fletcher and second by Mr. Abel. Any questions, comments, or concerns of the agenda? Seeing none, council, take your vote, please. Motion passes 6-0. Chair would now entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes, please.
Madam Mayor, I move that the approval of the minutes of the City Council regular meeting, February 9th, 2026, be approved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Fletcher and second by Mr. Hilst. Any questions, comments, or concerns on the February 9th minutes? Seeing none, council, take your vote, please. Motion passes 6-0. We have now come down to item 5, which is public input. Anyone wishing to have their voice heard, please come to the podium. Make sure that the mic is on, state your name, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. Name's John McNish. So tonight's consent agenda has some items of interest. One is 6.3, accounts payables. If you look through them somewhere between Uftring and Verizon Wireless, you will see that since January 2025, the City of Pekin has spent to date $440,000 on attorney fees. Moving on to item 6.8, approving the third amendment to the agreement for purchase and sale of real property to extend the due diligence period. Can someone please explain to myself and the city clerk what due diligence is? Does it contain emails? Does it contain charts? Does it contain notes? Please explain so the FOIA process can be updated. Unfinished business item 7.1. Fast-tracking the lease agreement with PCHS. Does anyone know if the site and grounds are ADA compliant? If so, what documents were or are in place to show compliance? If the site and grounds are not compliant, who will be responsible for ADA accidents? Remember, city's insurance will not pay out another ADA claim. What happens to the polling center? Does the city have a current lease on file with the county, or is that a handshake and barn deal? Who is in possession of the ADA checklist for polling places? Does anyone know what it is? It's a 57-page document that sets the standards so Americans with disabilities can safely access polling sites. Moving on to items 8.2 through 8.4. Does anyone know or has anyone asked questions to see if any of the businesses are FDA compliant? If not, I would highly recommend that since these TIF funds are government funds, the businesses should be ADA compliant. I've seen many posts and have heard many conversations about the land purchase agreement with WHP and what day it was approved. When the agreement came to council for approval, it should have been signed already by the purchaser. Lastly, over the last several meetings, some of you elected officials and staff have somewhat given guidance to public speakers on what they can or can't say or do. I urge you to complete some due diligence on that topic. Look at the city's code, take a deep dive into the Open Meetings Act, look at some previous cases with the public access counselor, and maybe re-educate yourselves. Since I'm on this topic, during the last couple of meetings, has anyone given the overflow bystanders in the lobby an opportunity to speak at the podium? If so, where can I find this information? Thank you, and it's baseball season.
I don't know if the mic is on. I think he might have shut it off.
Hello, my name's Gary Allen, and I'm here to speak as opposed to the data center. A couple years ago, when this first came out, I sent a letter to the mayor and the council members trying to figure out, the mayor already talked to a developer, and I'm trying to figure out who the developer that was spoken to.
This is your 5 minutes. This is your 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay. They, because if it's a local developer, right now I calculated over 10 years worth of inventory in vacant lots. Since then, I recalculated we're over 12 years of inventory on vacant lots. Since Caterpillar has already relocated its headquarters, we lost a lot of new constructions that would fit into a proposed subdivision of such. If anything was be done with that as far as development and further subdivision, the prices of a single-family lot probably would start around $100,000 due to the infrastructure alone. And then building a house, it probably would start around $500,000 to $600,000. If you're looking at a $600,000 house, you're looking at a third is 200,000 times 9, that's 18,000. Take off owner-occupied exemption, so you're around $17,400 a year in taxes. Just for somebody to build. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name's Kim Bowers, and
Good
I'm here
evening.
to speak to you about two things. And I have some information to share with you at the end because as the last time I spoke, this is all based off of research that we have been doing and that I've personally been doing. So I have a air pollution map of Pekin. I have a research paper on the health dangers of noise pollution. I have a very detailed study on the health implications of the rapid rise of data centers in Virginia. And these resources, I know that you guys are doing your due diligence. If you check the resources at the back of these documents, they cite many other resources that you would be able to check on. And finally, I have a noise with a data center research study that I would like to share with you. I'm here to talk to you about two things. One is my opposition to the data center based on the health implications today. I have many different reasons why I oppose this. Today, I'm just focusing on the health implications because it's so important. And that ties into the second thing that I want to talk to you about, and that is why being a home rule city is actually beneficial for us in this case. Many people in the public are wanting or thinking that if we can eliminate home rule, all our problems are going to be solved. But what I'm finding is that it's actually a benefit to us. And the reason is that under home rule, municipalities have broad constitutional authority under Article 7, Section 6 of the Illinois Constitution to prohibit or regulate land use to protect the public health, safety, and welfare. So you have a responsibility to protect the public health, safety, and welfare. It's not just to raise funds, but it's to look out for our health, safety, and welfare. So what are the health risks associated with the data center? They include air pollution, excessive water use, noise pollution, detrimental land use, disturbing the natural ecosystems, rising energy costs that worsen health determinants. Air quality in Pekin is worse than 60% of the cities in Illinois already. So the people in Pekin are already suffering under the burden of air pollution. That's expected to continue to get much worse, even with the industry that we currently have. I have a very detailed graph of that, and you can take a look at it and see it in purple and white. So with the air pollution, the data center is going to create so much more air pollution. That's basically one of the main problems, is that the air pollution. It's directly linked to chronic disease, adverse reproductive outcomes, and premature mortality. In other words, it's going to make us die early. It's really not something, just a minor thing. It's going to create major respiratory illnesses because of the excessive pollution. So data centers are going to, aside from the regular pollution that they're pumping out, they're relying on diesel generators. The diesel generators are linked to cardiovascular disease, various cancers, neurological disorders, stroke, dementia, diabetes, and chronic asthma. And let's talk a little bit about the noise pollution. I was able to go up to the data center this weekend and do some decibel readings. I didn't have the extensive meter that you would be able to measure the lower level. However, it was above what the EPA recommends. EPA says that you should not be exposed to more than 50 decibels over a 24-hour period. And even with my cheap Amazon meter, I was picking up 80 and 90. And I'll be honest with you, I personally, it wasn't like rattling my ears. But what it was is that it's a low-level frequency that's dangerous. And in these studies, you can see what you can hear is really more dangerous than what you can hear. That's the thing that is going to have the chronic effect on your health and on people's psychological well-being. Okay.
25 seconds.
Okay, and I'm going to skip the last one, but what I'm going to say is I'm asking the council to stop this proposal as quickly as legally possible. It's time for us as a community to use our talents to decide on a mutually beneficial use of that land. This is not something that you have to do alone. We have many people in the community that are more than happy to offer their talent, offer their ideas.
Thank you, Ms. Bauer.
Okay. You are welcome.
You want to hand those to the clerk there?
Mayor Burgess and council. My name is Ethan Wieland. I live in the surrounding community, and I staunchly oppose the construction of the proposed 320-acre AI data center. My opposition is founded on three key factors: environmental, economic, and land use concerns. For environmental concerns, I believe the previous speaker, Kim, detailed that fairly well. I'll just say that environmental concerns are the most important issues of our time, and the decisions we make will affect the livability of our community well after those who make the decisions are dead and gone. We have a responsibility to think about future generations with the long-term effects of our actions here today. Now, I think, again, Kim detailed some of the environmental concerns quickly, so I'll skip that for now. On economic concerns, I am not a Luddite. I believe in the capacity for new technology to make our lives easier, and I understand the inevitable consequence of new tech replacing jobs. AI is not creating new jobs for workers. If this current AI bubble bursts, these huge companies like NVIDIA, that right now, NVIDIA alone makes up over 7% of the S&P 500. If these companies will collapse, leading to the erosion of workers' retirements, loss of construction and IT jobs, and a general recession. Or if they get bailouts, like what happened in the Great Recession with the too big to fail banks. But as many of you remember, those corporate bailouts did nothing for the average worker, with many losing homes and jobs. Now, if the AI bubble doesn't burst, workers will find themselves with fewer and fewer job opportunities. We live in a capitalist society where bosses own the means of production and workers sell their labor. In a tech bro's wet dream, and one of the potential futures if we don't stop them, a handful of billionaires will control a majority of production, and there'll be no laborers for workers to sell. If we lived in an equitable society, we could tax the hell out of these few companies and equitably distribute the wealth to all using systems like universal basic income and creating a post-scarcity society. If this were the case, my opposition to the data center would only be the location. But we all know we don't live in such a society. We live under capitalism, where greed and corruption are rewarded. The bosses have no incentive to share their immense wealth with the vast majority, or the workers. They will take as much from us as we let them, and the history of the past 250 years has shown us over and over again how the wealthy screw over an average worker, and AI data centers are just the most recent innovation. Now 3, land use. I work in ag, and I hear complaints constantly about the taking of land to build solar or wind projects, and while I don't implicitly agree with those protests, I understand the concern, which is taking productive farmland out of crop production, and this AI data center is not that. The construction of this facility will destroy any possibility for future land use. So I urge council to I urge council to oppose the data center. Thank you.
My name is Justin Spencer. I work as an electrician and I'm a rank and file member of UAW Local 974. I'm a member of Workers Strike Back. Solidarity with everyone else here who's opposing the Pekin Data Center and calling for people to pack City Hall. Working class people around the country are suffering from an unbearable cost of living crisis and attacks on all fronts, from ICE terror to foreign wars at our expense. Billionaire tech giants like the ones who are going to operate and profit off of this new data center are hoarding the world's wealth and depriving us of our basic rights and dignity. Data centers are being used and expanded due to the increase in need for corporate data storage and for the advancement of dystopian AI technologies that are designed to increase billionaire profits while systematically depriving workers of our most basic necessities. One such instance is the pervasive use of AI in health insurance and the systematic denial of care by corporations like United Healthcare. Sometimes these technologies are used in even more sinister ways, such as companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and Palantir, all using their data storage and AI tools in part for the Israeli military to attack and target Palestinians and journalists in the ongoing brutal genocide in Gaza, and also to help ICE target and detain immigrants in the United States. Despite all of this, the state of Illinois has provided tax incentives for data centers, with Pritzker signing bipartisan legislation in 2019. According to the state's 2024 report, at least 27 data centers have had incentives totaling $983 million in estimated lifetime tax breaks and benefits. So instead of taxing the rich to fund our needs and improving things like healthcare, housing, and education, Pritzker and the entire bipartisan state legislature are actually trying to help save the billionaires' money. Now Democratic Governor Pritzker is proposing that Illinois stop these tax incentives for 2 years and that the data centers pay for energy bills of people in the communities. Well, this change in tone from Pritzker, who himself is a billionaire, along with several members of his family, is not due to a newfound concern for working people, but because the pressure he's facing from movements that are being built to oppose these data centers across the state that have made data centers very unpopular issue for him, as they should be. And the support for this data center should be also, concerning for the elected officials on this council. Democrat or Republican, those who vote for this data center should be thrown out of office. Some people will say that maybe this data center will be used in a better way, but how can we ensure this? We simply can't, because we don't own it. And that's why I am a socialist. Working class people need to fight for democratic public ownership over big tech and major corporations, major energy corporations, so that we can decide what the advancement in technology is going to be used for. And it should be used in the interest of the working class, not against us. Right now, these data centers are consuming hundreds of thousands of gallons of water per hour, and in most cases, the energy supplied to these data centers is through fossil fuel companies, exacerbating climate change. The billionaires making these data centers know all of this all too well, but they have no regard for our lives and the impacts on our community, and the same is true for Democrat and Republican parties, who are both parties of Wall Street and war. This is exactly why Workers Strike Back stands for a new party for the working class that will fight for our interests with clear demands like a $25 an hour minimum wage, free health care for all by taxing the rich, national rent control, ending all U.S. military funding to Israel, shutting down ICE in the detention centers. And we're not just a list of demands. Workers Strike Back is the only organization building fighting movements to win these demands. And right now we're building the movement around Shama Sawant's Revolutionary Socialist Campaign for U.S. Congress against warmongering Democrat Adam Smith. In this campaign, all of Workers Strike Back's activity around the country, we are taking forward the strategy that Shama Sawant used when she was the lone socialist on Seattle City Council. She and her fellow socialists used elected office to organize workers and declare class war back against the Democratic Party and the billionaires in the city. And they won major victories for workers, like the nation's highest minimum wage, a tax on Amazon to fund affordable housing, massive renters' rights laws like a $10 cap on late fees, a ban on winter evictions. This strategy of class struggle, is needed in every city hall, in every workplace, at every protest. Our methods for fighting back need to be crystal clear that our allies are the working class, the people in this room, fighting against this data center, big tech, and the billionaire class as a whole. Our enemies are anyone who sides with them, like these politicians on the council and the entire Democratic and Republican parties along with them. I urge working people to get involved in Workers Strike Back and Shama Sawant's Independent Revolutionary Socialist Campaign for U.S. Congress. Working people urgently need to get organized and fight back against the rich, because when we fight, we can win.
Thank you, Destin.
My name is Sudeth, and I live in Pekin. And I'm going to read this because I'm nervous. The information
Join the club.
The information that I have here was sent to me by an acquaintance in Port Washington, Wisconsin. She tells me that there is a data center being built in Port Washington, and the work goes on 24 hours a day. Although they are not supposed to be working over the weekend, the company is violating that regulation. The constant noise and the dust has the community in an uproar. The amount of dust and pollutants can cause health problems, especially those with allergies and other immune issues. Data center diesel turbines contribute nitrogen oxides, which cause air pollution, especially smog and acid rain. They can irritate the lungs and worsen asthma. They play a role in forming ground-level ozone, which is harmful to breathe. Data centers recycle the water, but who is to say that the water being returned will not have toxic materials embedded? From another oppositionist, residents are contending with noise pollution from turbines, rolling blackouts, and water shortages. Higher rates of cancer and asthma claims have been noted. The communities of Groveland, Pekin, Marquette Heights do not want a data center in Pekin. Please listen to us or put it on the ballot. Thank you.
Hello, y'all. Zoe Carter, you'll know me.
Good evening.
I want to say thank you, Mayor Burris, and the rest of City Council for being here and for working so hard. I'm going to be really, really quick on this because you've already heard all this other stuff that people have said. You know, as are all these people in this room. When I look at this room here, I don't see Republicans and Democrats. I don't see leftists and conservatives. I see people who love this community just as much as I do. I see people who here want to see the best for this community. My thing to all of you is why? Why is this something, just think of this, why is this something that you're wanting to put in? Is it tax money? Okay. Why do we need that tax money and ruin our environment? Is this tax money you're wanting to put in the road? Okay. Why haven't you gone to the state and asked for the money? Because I know for a fact that the state government has given billions of dollars into road improvements and building new roads. So if that's why you want the tax money, why? I am very against this because I love my city just as everyone else here does. I want to see what's best for my city, and I'd rather see low-income housing or affordable housing. I'd rather see an extension of McNaughton Park. I'd rather see small businesses ran by people in this community than a $320 warehouse building that all it does is create stuff to take away jobs. I don't like that. I love this city. I'm seeing the positive direction that the city is going in. I've been here my entire life, and there's so much good happening to the city. This data center would just flip it on its head and eliminate all that. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ryan Cheneau, and I'm a rank and file member of the Illinois Federation of Teachers, as well as Workers Strike Back. For far too long, working people in this country have been ignored and exploited. The demands of the people have been swept aside. Politicians make deals with businesses and then promise us the wealth made by those businesses will be shared with the people somehow. Yet, time and time again, working people's lives do not see those improvements, and quality of life stagnates or worsens. The people of the Pekin City Council are prepared to sell out working people in another backroom deal with tech billionaires. Data centers around the country are devastating to communities. These large facilities can use upwards over 300,000 gallons of water per day, and in places where data centers have already been built, elected officials are having to consider whether or not to ration water for their city's residents. But this should not come as a surprise to working and poor people when both the Republicans and the Democrats are the party of billionaires. That is why I'm a member of Workers Strike Back. Workers Strike Back was founded, as was mentioned by Justin previously, by Shama Sawant. Shama Sawant's office ran a campaign that won the highest minimum wage in the country, a minimum wage that is now over $21 an hour. That fighting spirit that was started and spearheaded in Seattle is one that spread throughout the nation and has benefited several hundreds of thousands of workers. In order to win that fight for the minimum wage, as well as others like the Tax Amazon movement, it was understood that working people must put continuous pressure on our elected representatives and that we remain consistent in our demands. Politicians will sell us out and gatekeep the interest of big business. The empty promise of jobs from this data center is not enough. When the victory the people receive is a polluted land and a polluted people. In fact, data has shown that data centers only produce a handful of permanent jobs. Working and poor people must have an urgent necessity to fight back against the proliferation of data centers by big tech companies. Union members should pass resolutions in their unions against the construction of more data centers and to revoke the endorsement of any Democrat or Republican who votes for tax cuts to big tech companies. I urge any working person who is angry at the backroom deals by this council to join Workers Strike Back and email solidarity@workersstrikeback.org. As we and other working people in Pekin and the Peoria area engage in our class struggle approach to stop the construction of this data center and take on the larger state apparatus that continues to hold working people down. Thank you.
Hello, Greg Hansen. I've actually got two things, and one has nothing to do with the data center. The other one does. You think we could possibly look at the traffic lights where you cross Annalisa and Margaret and time those? Because it's really annoying to get through the light at Annalisa, drive 50 feet, and then have to sit there and wait for the light to turn green to cross Margaret. It's only logical common sense that traffic go this way and then traffic go this way. Now, onto the data center. And as a city leadership, you have to, no matter where you're at with this, really love seeing public involvement. Because I walked in here so many times, well, a couple times, at 5:25 and had no problem finding a seat. So this is great. But I'm here to tell you, Pekin, you are not alone. Developers proposing data centers across the country have proposed projects that were never ultimately completed. Western Hospitality Partners has proposed multiple data center projects, but there are limited publicly verifiable examples of completed data center developments attributable to that company. Communities across the country have delayed, restricted, or rejected data center proposals after evaluating their long-term impacts. I'd like to briefly mention a few examples. First, Stone River, Virginia in Loudoun County. This was in 2024 and the developer was Amazon. That project was rejected by the County Planning Commission due to residential impact concerns. Those included noise from cooling equipment, impacts on quality of life, and property value concerns. Officials said the project was incompatible with the surrounding residential neighborhoods. What's important here is that Loudoun County is the largest data center market in the world. And even there, at least one proposal was rejected due to residential impact concerns. And much like here, residents showed up in large numbers to speak. Second, Chandler, Arizona in 2023 and 2024 involving Microsoft. That expansion was delayed and scaled back due to water consumption concerns, Arizona's drought conditions, and public opposition. Typical hyperscale data centers can use between 1 and 5 million gallons of water, and communities there decided to slow down and reconsider. Third, the Dulles in Oregon in 2023 involving Google. There were significant concerns about water usage. At one point, one existing data center was already consuming roughly a quarter of the city's water supply. That raised serious concerns within the community. Fourth is Prince William County in Virginia between 2022 and 2024. Multiple developers proposed projects and some were delayed or rejected. Residents raised concerns about impacts to historic areas, power demand, and preserving the character of their community. This isn't rhetorical, this is happening right now. Just last week in New Brunswick, New Jersey, the city council voted to cancel a proposed data center. The council removed data centers as an allowed use at that site and chose to move forward with a public park instead. Residents had shown up consistently to voice concerns about environmental impact, electricity usage, water usage, and quality of life. Sounds familiar. Also this month in San Marcos, Texas, the city voted to reject a proposed $1.5 billion data center project. Concerns there included power demand, water usage, and again, community impact. And just in the past year, projects were also denied or paused in places like Shreveport, Louisiana, College Station, Texas, and Stark County, Indiana, where officials imposed a moratorium to allow more study before making long-term decisions. Communities across this country and around the world are slowing down, pausing or rejecting these projects after learning their long-term costs. Pekin now faces that same moment. The question is not whether data centers exist. The question is whether Pekin will proceed carefully with full transparency and protection for its residents. or move forward with fully understanding the long-term consequences. Thank you.
Hi. My name's Lonnie Miller. I've been here in Pekin for 20 years. I'm sure everybody's heard all the, the water usage, the energy usage, and the environmental concerns. I would like to touch a little bit on the energy usage. From Worldometer, you can see that we only had 37 years left of oil in our ground. We only have, get my notes out here. We have 152 years left of natural gas. We have 402 years of coal at the current rates that we're using them. I've done some numbers here as far as pushing this project forward on this. And it turns out that if we continue to use, as projected, they say right now we use about 7% is going to go towards data centers in 26. And that's going to go up to 21% in 6 years. If we continue on that road, we're going to run out of fuel, all fuels, not just oil, in a matter of years. We're talking by 2056 we'll be out, not just of oil, but oil will be the first target. Oil and natural gas will be the first to go because it's cheap, it's easy to bring online quickly, and that will be first to go. Next will be the coal, but it'll all be gone by 2056. What you got to realize when you're looking at Worldometer is they are talking about thermal production in the ground. And to convert that to electricity, it takes about 3 units of thermal to get 1 unit of electricity out. And this project is very electrically, very dependent on electrical energy. So for the good of Earth in general, we need to slow all these projects down as far as data centers. And I don't really see much benefit anyhow to putting all these people out of work just so you can have AI going full board. And that's all I have to say, really.
Anyone else from the public?
My name is Donna Hazelman. At the January 26th meeting, it was said that council members should vote from their heart and not worry about whether they would get reelected or not based on their decision. This is as it relates to the data center. Normally, logic would dictate that you should not vote from your heart, but rather you should look at the facts and figures to determine what's best, not only for the city, but also for the surrounding communities. This evening, though, I'm going to step away from the logic part of this argument and focus on the heart of the matter by providing some of the posts your community has shared online. I'm going to try and keep these G-rated too. I oppose the data center and shall vote against any elected official who supports it. A huge no to the data center. Anyone in favor of it should start saving because 50 to 80% of the citizens won't be able to afford their power bills once it goes in. No data center. No data center, as we all hear Morton, will also bear the brunt of the energy drain and cost. Absolutely not. Wake up, Pekin. No to the data center. No data center. It will ruin property values. Not in favor. No one wants it. We're definitely a no to it as well. It's great seeing more signs against it. Earlier, we had to run to Farm and Fleet and Morton and saw 32 signs along Route 98. not talk to anyone that wants a nasty thing like this near us. Keep it out of here. No, nada, no bueno. For me, it's that I moved out to the country to not live in the city, and now they want to bring the light pollution and drain on the environment and such out here. If they build a data center there, nothing else will ever be built there, let alone all the neighborhoods they ruined that are existing. We don't want that garbage center, my opinion. Keep fighting, no data centers. We don't want data centers here. I vote no. I'm a homeowner in Pekin. I said no. No data center. I'm a homeowner in North Pekin. I also say no. I would say that we have more than minimal dissent from our community. No data center. No data centers. We don't need any here. Take notes, Pekin. No one wants this. Praying that decisions haven't already been made behind closed doors. It will be across the road from my house. There are no benefits. No data center, period. No, keep it out of here. Put my name down, someone. No. Keep the data center out of Pekin. We need water more. We don't want the data center, so use that land for homes or offices, but not a data center that will suck our resources dry. Please, no data center. No, we don't want a data center that close to us. I believe to use 321 acres of timber and wildlife land for an AI complex near residential areas is criminal. My family and I were planning on purchasing a home and living within Pekin. We have put this off and are now awaiting the result of this decision. If no decision by next year, we will have to find another town to choose. The rebrand of Pekin is a great idea. A data center will destroy it all, from world-class parks to world-class pollution and industrial noise. You can't have it all, City Council. Leave the data center behind. Strive for innovation and growth while leaving Pekin's beautiful landscape intact. The impact zone for noise from a data center is anywhere from a 1 to 3 mile radius from the data center. At 1 mile, that encompasses 2,010 acres. At 3 miles, that encompasses 18,096 acres. So yes, the land purchase is only 320 acres, but the impact will cover far more than the building square footage placed on the 320 acres. The health risks of the data center, water shortages, and electricity use and costs are enough reasons for it not to be built, but someone is getting their pockets lined. Elected officials
40 seconds.
Elected officials aren't listening to the citizens of Pekin. Mayor Burris and city council members, I can understand that when you were first approached by the developers for this data center, you may not have fully understood the enormity and/or the negative impacts of what they were proposing, and it was an easy decision to move forward
20 seconds.
with allowing the development their opportunity of due diligence. My hope is that after hearing and reading all the input from not only people of Pekin proper, but also from the many residents that are in the epicenter of the negative impacts of this project, that you will hold true to your statement and vote the way you feel is going to be
Thank you,
best
Ms.
for your
Hazelman.
community. The good thing is, now you also have the feedback
Thank you, Ms.
and the
Hazelman.
facts to back up your vote from the heart.
Hello, my name is Dave Milam. I live out by the drop zone or whatever, bomb zone or whatever we call it, because we all know it's not a good thing. I first of all want to congratulate you guys for what you do. Most people do not know the due diligence that goes in behind working to keep a city running, yet alone a business or anything like that. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that we don't see that goes on, and we applaud you for trying to run our city properly, first of all. I, in my hands, have a letter written from somebody who worked at a data center, and he decided to buy a house in Pekin. If any of you know the line of beautiful red trees that lines the lane out on 98, one of the most beautiful scenes that thousands of people a year flock to take pictures, he bought that house. And this letter is from him because for medical reasons he couldn't be here. His name is Chris Lawrence. I apologize that due to medical reasons, I am not able to be here in person. I spent 15 years working inside of large data centers, so I understand both their economic value and their physical footprint. While they are often described as quiet or low impact, the reality is that hyperscale facilities operate 24 hours a day with constant mechanical cooling systems, rooftop chillers, backup generators that are tested regularly, often in the middle of the night, heavy transformer infrastructure, high-intensity security lighting, and periodic truck traffic. The low-frequency hum from cooling equipment carries especially far across open farmland, and once installed, it is permanent. These facilities also require significant electrical transmission upgrades and large volumes of water for cooling, fundamentally changing the character of the rural land. And large volumes of water for cooling. I'm sorry, I jumped the line. My wife and I moved here in 2021 from the Chicago suburbs specifically for the quiet, serenity, and wildlife that this area provides. We have 18 exterior cameras dedicated to capturing deer, foxes, wild turkey, and other animals that use these fields as habitat corridors. Replacing open agricultural land with continuously lit and mechanically active industrial complex will inevitably disrupt that ecosystem and the rural characteristic that many of us invested our lives in. I am not opposed to growth, but this is not a neutral land use change. It is a permanent industrial of what is currently natural space that deserves serious consideration before it is approved. Thank you for your time, Chris Lawrence. That's all I have to say.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Michael Saunders. My wife and I have lived in Groveland for the past 24 years, I believe. As I sat here tonight, I've been thinking about how politically divided our nation is. On almost every issue, people are polarized. In fact, as I sat here listening to my new friends, Justin and Ryan, I thought to myself, there's almost nothing that the three of us would probably agree on politically, because I'm a political conservative and their views are different than mine, except for this data center. This is an issue that has brought Democrats and Republicans and socialists together in opposition. This is not an 80-20 issue. This is not a 90-10 issue. This is virtually a 100-0 issue. I have not heard a single person, at least in these meetings or just in casual conversation, that is supportive of the data center other than the people on the council. Now, again, like other speakers have said, I am very grateful for your service, and I am very grateful for the opportunity to speak to you. I would urge you to please listen to your constituents. I'm not one of your constituents. I did not vote for you. I don't live in Pekin, but many of the people in this room did. And I think they are telling you, we are telling you loud and clear, there is nothing good about this data center other than the possibility of some tax revenue for the city of Pekin. And I'm not even sure how certain that revenue would be. So please consider everything that you've heard tonight. Again, we're thankful for your service, but I think the people have spoken loud and clear. Thank you.
Anyone else from the council?
My name's Elaine Ritchie. I like the new color.
Well, good.
It's a go.
Well, we'll have to hear from the people at home how it comes through.
Okay,
Yeah.
it is a go.
Okay, very good.
And
We appreciate that.
that's all I got to say.
Oh, good. Thank you. That was only 10 seconds.
Use it for somebody else.
I won't be much longer.
Okay.
My name is Gary Lambert. I moved to Pekin 3 months ago from Bloomington.
Welcome.
Until I moved here, I honestly hadn't heard of this issue. Since I've been here, and I realize I lead a pretty sheltered life, I have yet to meet one person in favor of the data center. Thank you.
Good evening. I too will be brief real quick because I think the data's all out there, no pun intended. The team's provided a plethora of data that this just isn't a good idea. And I know I said that before, and I truly am speaking from the heart. I'm speaking on behalf of the voices who can't be here, primarily the young children who are going to be impacted by this for a lot longer than I am. I know I made the link about the prison, but this is much bigger than the prison. We could all find maybe some positives on that prison, but at the end of the day, this data center in 30 years, you're not going to be able to find one good thing about that data center. And I'm going to be a broken record. This just isn't a good idea. The community doesn't want it, and that should be enough. You throw all in the negative aspects of it from an environmental standpoint, from an economic standpoint, and then the health and safety of the well-being of the community. It is just not a good idea. So in engineering, there's a term that's used more often than you think. It's called white sheet. I say you just white sheet this damn thing. I know you're stuck with 1,000 acres, but we collectively can come together and find some good common ground to be used for that land. That land is beautiful, and a data center will destroy it. And you have the power to do this. I don't. And I have my faith in you. You'll do the right thing at the end of the day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Somebody forgot their glasses. Okay. Hi, my name is Lynn Bindford. I spoke with you guys years back. John, you was on there, and Dave was on there. I don't think anybody else was. You guys tried to get rid of our garbage men a long time ago. Back then, you just got rid of all of our bus drivers. How many people did you put out of work that works within our community? Now you've taken, I can only put my recycle bins out every other week. I just got back from Colorado. My brother had a kidney transplant, and I was out there for over a month with him. And I come back, and my daughter says, "Mom, don't put the recycle." I'm like, "Excuse me? Why would you take that away?" There are families, so now they have to go out and buy another recycle bin. You're costing them $60. I know, because I bought one, and it was $60. And you took it away. So you got rid of all of our buses. Are you trying to get rid of our garbage men now, too? How many local people do you want as a council to put out of work? How many? I wish you would answer. I hope that is not what you're thinking about by taking away the recycle bin to every other week. Thank you.
I think public comment is now closed. Do you want to speak?
My name is Roger Smith. I just have a couple concerns. The size of this data center, and as small as our community is, what's your plan if they just walk off? Like, you realize this is technology, so technology is going to change. You know, MySpace was around, and we look at Pekin Mall. We're still today just finally getting it into a position where it's back to serving the community. It took 20-something years. And if they start building a data center and they get this thing half done, 3/4 done, or done, and all of a sudden they have new technology where they need 1/10 the space, like your telephone is compared to a bag phone 20 years ago, and they just say, well, we got 1,000 data centers, but we only need 300 now. So they just walk off. I mean, these companies, if they spend $300 million to build that, that sounds like a lot of money to me and to you. But these companies, $300 million, they just walk off. And then what are we going to do with a building that size? Who the heck are we going to put in there? Are we going to chase them down to New York and sue them? You know, I mean, are we at least getting a bond? Like for any amount of money that this city is putting up or guaranteeing, are we at least getting a bond that says for 20 years that you're guaranteed to be here for 20 years? If not, we're getting our money back. But even that is not a good deal, because if them people move out in 20 years, I've got grandkids that are 8. They'll be 28 and probably still living in Pekin and have a big old warehouse that's just rusting and weeds growing up all over it. I mean, we got to think down the road. This community is not big enough to repurpose a building like that. And we got to think of contingency plans, succession plans. You know, if I build a small restaurant and I go bankrupt, some other restaurant will come in. Who's going to come into this site? That's what I'm asking.
Thank you. Did you want to say something?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin Bresnahan.
Good evening.
I'm the senior trustee for Groveland Township. First of all, I want to say thank you, Mary and council, for the things that you do, both seen and unseen, and for listening to all the different views that you've heard tonight about the wind, the air, the water, the energy consumption, everything you've heard tonight. Thank you for listening to all that. I'll be brief. What I just want to say is that as an elected official like you folks are, you know, progress should serve the people and not override it. It's that simple. You've heard what people said here. Please take that into consideration. Also, in the Bible, it says that we are to be good stewards of the land and take care of the animals. Please listen to that. Again, progress should serve the people and not override it. Thank you.
Okay, I believe public,
I'm so sorry. I just wanted to add one more thing. I know I still had time on the clock before. I know I heard some talk about if it doesn't come here, it's going to come somewhere in the state. I just want to let you know that I'm 34 years old and I'm running for state office. My family lives until their 80s. That's a long-ass time that I'm going to be fighting these things. And I'm guarantee you I will fight this until I die.
yeah. Yeah. Public input is now closed. Chair would now entertain a motion for the consent agenda, please.
Madam Mayor, I move that the following items on the consent agenda be approved. 6.1, proclamation recognizing February 2026 as Black History Month. 6.2, financial reports through January 31st of 2026. Accounts payable paid proof list through February 13th, 2026. Receive and file fiscal year 25-26 budget transfers through February 18th, 2026. Receive and file City of Pekin, Illinois single audit report for the fiscal year ended April 30th, 2023, prepared by Lauterbach and Ammon LLP. 6.6, Pekin Police Department monthly statistics, January 2026. Receive and file the resignation of Christine Dunn from the Tourism Committee with regret and appreciation for her service. 6.8, ordinance number 4373-25/26, approving a third amendment to the agreement for purchase and sale of real property with JPG Commercial Real Estate, LLC, to extend the due diligence period.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Fletcher and second by Mr. Hills. Hills, excuse me. Any questions, comments, concerns about the consent agenda? Seeing none, council, take your vote, please. Motion passes 6-0. We've now come down to unfinished business. I don't know if we can close that door. Can everybody hear us? I don't know if we can close it legally, but you're okay? Okay.
We're good.
Chair would entertain a motion for 7.1 under unfinished business, please.
Madam Mayor, I move to adopt ordinance number 4372-2526, approving a lease agreement with the Pekin Community High School District number 303 for school bus operations at the city-owned property at 1130 Cook Street.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Phillips and second by Mr. Abel. Mr. Doss. Pardon me?
I understood he was going to say something.
Yeah, I'm turning it over to him. Yeah. Mr. Dossi.
We were going to ask for this to be tabled.
Okay. So,
Madam Mayor, I move that we table this ordinance to our next meeting, which is March 9th.
Second.
was that you, Mr. Nutter?
Yes.
Okay. So we've got a motion on the floor to table 7.1 to 3/9 of 26 by Ms. Phillips and second by Mr. Nutter. Any questions on why we are tabling or anything? Council, take your vote.
Hang on.
I'm sorry.
Can somebody tell us why?
Yeah, the public should know why. I'm not real convinced that we stalled it 2 more weeks, now we're going to do it again. So
Okay.
the public should know why.
I thought you were going to talk before it was tabled, so that's
Sure,
why.
we're asking for it to be tabled. We had met with some of the council members and some of the concerns, and we have brought that forward to the school district. They just need a little time to review that, and we're actually meeting with them on Thursday, and hopefully we can have it before you on March 2nd to be agreed
Is it
upon.
Thursday or Friday that we're meeting with them? Is everything
They're-
okay out there?
Yeah, the door has
I
to be
know, I didn't
open.
think we legally could.
Yeah.
I know it. It's hard to hear in here, but we legally can't.
Yeah, it's Thursday that we're
Okay,
meeting.
thank you. So that's the 26th. So that's why the school actually came to us and asked if we could do that.
Thank you for the clarification.
Okay, council, take your vote, please. This is to table. Motion passes 6-1 to table. Excuse me, 6-0 to table, I was looking at 7-1, to table until 3/9 of 26. Thank you. We are now down to new business. Chair would entertain a motion for 8.1, please.
Madam Mayor, I move that we adopt ordinance number 4374-2526, approving a 9th amendment to the fiscal year 2026 annual budget.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Phillips and second by Mr. Abel. Mr. Dossi.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to have Josh Ray and our finance director, Eric, speak on this a little bit. They were working on this while I was out.
Okay. Who wants to start? Mr. Dabrowski?
I'll start, Madam
Mr.
Mayor.
Ray.
So the attached budget amendment has several components to it. Rather than take a bunch of separate votes, we put it all together. If you would like at all to split the vote for any of these, you're certainly welcome to do that. The first item and the more complicated item, really due to many, many months of IDOT failing to cooperate with our MFT expense planning, the city is basically forced to rebudget most of the expenses for personnel and electricity for streetlights and traffic signals back to the general fund. These expenses are normally IDOT eligible for MFT funding. We planned for it before the fiscal year started, and we initiated the process with IDOT. Our city engineer, Justin Reese, or our public works director, Simon Grimm, they can speak to that process more directly, but basically what happened is there was one person working for IDOT in this area. That person was not very cooperative, had some feelings about Pekin's past performance using MFT funds, even though we were doing everything correctly. And ultimately, that person is no longer with IDOT. I believe they retired, but that's neither here nor there. IDOT Central Office has taken it over, and this issue should not be happening again. And furthermore, staff is not recommending next year that we do anything really but salt purchases and road construction out of MFT. So that'll make it simpler as well. But ultimately, at the end of the day, due to no fault of the city, we need to rebudget a little over $600,000 back to the general fund in the streets division. The way we're going to deal with that, staff is proposing, we're going to, first of all, add $325,000 of revenue that the city originally did not budget. That's from selling our lease interest in that cell tower site that was approved a few months ago. So that helps the situation. Second of all, there was $100,000 in contingency funding in the general fund. So we're repurposing that towards the reason, right, towards the streets division. And then we're also taking $144,000 of planned capital spending for the streets department. We're going to move that from the general fund to the capital projects fund. That primarily is for the acquisition of vehicles and equipment, which is an eligible use in the capital projects fund. And we will be reducing the budgeted amount of building repair, which was primarily set aside to deal with a potential issue at one of the fire stations. It's having some serious problems, but this late in the fiscal year, we feel okay going ahead and moving those funds. We will be budgeting again for kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't call it emergency repairs, but repairs to the fire stations in next fiscal year, or at least proposing that to council. So the net change in all of this will result in a reduction, or I should say a negative change of about $43,000 to the general fund. That will take our budget surplus in the general fund down to about $43,200. We are not losing any money. The MFT dollars are still going to be in the MFT fund. We can use that $612,000 for future MFT eligible expenses. So all in all, we're maintaining a general fund surplus by doing some of these things. We're not losing any dollars. We just had an unfortunate situation with IDOT. We have, we've used our lobbyist to try to get things sorted out. He was very helpful in getting this situation sorted out, but ultimately we can't. I know we could talk to our attorney about other legal remedies, but staff's not recommending that at this time. The second thing being taken care of, council might recall that earlier in the budget year, the auditors had advised staff that projects receiving grant funds do need to account for the full project expense. Previously, the city had budgeted for the net expense or the city share of a road project, or for example. We do need to recognize the entire expense and then also show the grant as revenue. So this budget amendment, net zero change to the budget. We're just adding in the grant revenue and equivalent expense for the Veterans Drive Engineering Project in a couple of the TIF funds. Thirdly, the police department, I think it was spoken of before, is receiving some additional dollars in state asset forfeiture revenues. That's above budget, and that funding is also restricted, so they would like to use that within the police department for the acquisition of a UTV, and that would be brought to council at a future meeting. So this isn't actually approving that purchase, but that is the intended use that staff's going to propose. Again, that's a net zero impact to the budget.
Okay.
Staff's available for questions.
So I want everybody to hear what you just said as far as the very last, that it has to be, it was the police department's and it has to be used in that department.
Yeah, and Chief Reinig could perhaps speak to that in greater detail if you'd like.
So it was an investigation that was completed by our narcotics investigations unit that led to the arrest of a local drug dealer that was selling for the cartel. And in that, we were able to seize funds, proceeds from their illegal sale of the drugs. And that money was seized and put through the asset forfeiture process through the state police. And we are just getting the receipt of those proceeds, our part of it. And this, when we budget it, we don't know what's going to happen in the course of a year. So this is just an arrest and an investigation that we didn't plan on. And so these are just the proceeds from that investigation.
Great follow-through, thank you. Any, Mr. Dabrowski?
No, they did an excellent summary of both.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Questions from council?
First, I
Nutter.
need somebody from IT to come look at my tablet, or look at my tablet up here.
Uh-oh.
It's got leave meeting on it, and I don't know how to get back. And I will leave the meeting if I have to.
Not yet.
The second thing is, while they're looking at that, Josh, are we sure we have all the bills from IDOT covered? Because I know there were 4 or 5 projects out there.
Yeah,
Is
so.
Front Street on there?
So I'll ask Public Works Director Grimm to speak to that, but we are aware of the backlog of invoices, if you will.
So do we have any left hanging out there?
Oh, thanks. There's still the potential for one final pay estimate for the Court Street piece that's got to get finished up. Front Street should be closed out, and Broadway is closed out as well on that one. I think that's it. Oh, Allentown as well. So those are the last remaining for the MFT side of things from IDOT.
So those could be coming?
The last one the only one we're expecting is a final pay estimate for the Court Street piece, because they're still finishing up the paperwork on that section.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Dave. Technical error on Councilmember Nutter. So, thank you.
That's usually how it is. Not just you, all
Yeah,
of us.
well, thank you,
Yeah,
Mary.
not all of us. It's called operator error.
Now, is this the time of year when you throw a flag if there's a technical error? Or somebody blows a whistle?
Yeah.
Sports.
All right. Any other questions from council? Mr. Hilst?
So the extra $600,000+ that we're gonna have in that MFT fund, then we can add that to our street maintenance program for this coming fiscal year?
Yeah, that's accurate. As long as it's an MFT eligible project, that could be, I mean, regular road, and Mr. Reese can correct me, regular road maintenance, like filling a pothole is, I believe, not MFT eligible. It has to be a bondable project. But any kind of street reconstruction, those funds could go towards that, yeah.
Does it have to be this year?
No, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, it wouldn't be able to be the current fiscal year.
Okay.
We would plan for a future fiscal year.
Okay.
I was specifically talking about the sheet that Simon provided to us.
So we can increase that cost. The other thing that we're still talking through, and we'll provide some recommendations, but instead of, we'll take some of that to also use salt purchase next year. So at the very least, protecting the full 1.4 million for next year. But if we want to take that extra 600,000 and throw it towards that, we can see how much more we can get done.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Council, take your vote, please. I think. See, now we've all got operator error.
Shut the system.
It did. We're not able to vote. Oh. You know what? I could not. Should I have her just call? I can't either. You can't either. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Nutter?
Aye.
Councilmember Fletcher?
Aye.
Councilmember Phillips?
Aye.
Councilmember Abel? Councilmember Hilst?
Aye.
And Mayor Burris.
Aye. Motion passes 6-0. Chair would now entertain a motion for 8.2, please.
Madam Mayor, I move that we adopt ordinance number 4375-2526, approving and authorizing the termination of a tax increment financing district redevelopment agreement with Olivia's Playhouse and Lisa Fuller.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Motion made by Ms. Phillips and second by Mr. Abel. Mr. Dossi.
Thank you, Mayor. The owner of Olivia's Playhouse entered into a TIF agreement in August 2024 for $49,885 to assist in the eligible renovation of the building downtown. The agreement included a provision requiring her to keep the store open for 5 years, or she would have to pay the grant back. She has experienced business growth and has now purchased a larger building on North 11th Street. The TIF agreement specifies she is to remain open at the downtown location, so she would like to be released from that provision to allow her to move to the larger space. Staff is recommending approval on this ordinance terminating this TIF agreement.
Any questions from council? Yes, Mr. Fletcher.
So the original agreement, as far as money-wise, nothing's changing. She's just relocating, but she still has the same amount of debt to pay back, and that's not changing, is that correct?
No, that's not quite right. So the current agreement is for the specific location downtown. What Ms. Fuller is requesting is to be totally released from the TIF. I mean, it was a grant with an expectation that she stay open in order to not have to pay anything back. It's not, like, we don't have a mortgage, it's not a loan, she's not making payments of any kind. So what she's just asking is, hey, I bought a new building, it's bigger, I'm trying to grow, I would like to not be, held back by this thing that keeps me downtown. Now, I'll just leave it at that and see if you have more questions.
I thought we were maybe going to redo some of this, reword some of it.
I don't know, it's up to,
I had some conversation with Josh today, and there is a potential concern if we do this, we'd be setting a precedent. We also have a potential of another business possibly in the same situation. We just want to make sure that we have everything covered legally on what we need to do. So I'd like to make a motion that we table this until the March 9th meeting, until we can get some of those details worked out to make sure we don't misrepresent something with Olivia's Playhouse and another potential business. So I'd like to make that motion, and hopefully we can get that resolved by the 9th, which I'm sure we will.
Second.
Okay. Motion made to table it from Mr. Nutter, and second by Ms. Phillips. Any discussion on that, or was he very clear? Council, take your vote, please. Oh, wait a minute. You're going to have to call. Roll call. Oh, I have nothing.
Okay.
Oh, let's see.
There's actually not supposed to be discussion on tabling.
Yeah, well, that part's true.
Just thought I'd mention it.
Please take your vote.
Councilmember Hilst?
Aye.
Councilmember Abel?
Aye.
Councilmember Phillips?
Aye.
Councilmember Fletcher? Councilmember Nutter?
Aye.
Mayor Burris.
Aye. Motion passes 6-0.
To table.
To table 8.2. Till 3/9 of 26. Chair would entertain a motion for 8.3, please.
Madam Mayor, I move that ordinance number 4376-25/26, approving and authorizing the execution of a tax increment finance district redevelopment agreement with Peak and Alignment and Auto Body for the renovation of 716 Court Street be approved.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Nutter and second by Mr. Abel. Mr. Dossi.
Thank you, Mayor. Pekin Alignment and Auto Body are looking to change locations due to growth. They've acquired the property at 716 Court Street and are seeking TIF incentives to assist with their building renovation project. The attached agreement provides a 75% net property tax increment rebate through tax year 2034 or until the owners receive $125,500 in cumulative rebate, whichever comes first. The annual rebate amount will depend on verified eligible expenses and the new property assessment after project completion. If the renovation does not increase the property value, there will be no rebate. Staff is recommending approval of the ordinance, and Josh is available for questions.
Any questions?
Just one. Josh, did we verify the purchase?
Yeah.
She's in the audience.
It was supposed to happen Friday, it's happening Wednesday.
Closing plan for Wednesday.
Thank you.
This is all set up, it's just a matter of the title company had to push it off.
And the reason I asked, because I looked it up in the GIS system, it still shows previous owners, so just wanted to verify that that closing was going to happen so we can move forward with this, so.
He was actually out of town Friday, and originally his attorney power of attorney was supposed to be able to sign, but the title company wasn't happy with that, so they pushed it off until he got back this week. So Wednesday at 1 o'clock.
Mr. Viselli, we okay with that, even though the property hadn't been closed on?
Hello? Hi. Hi, Councilmember, Madam Chair. I am fine with that. Thank you. If there's any other questions, I would ask the applicant to come to the dais, if that's okay, the podium. But I don't know if there's any other questions, so you might be good. So good luck with your closing on Wednesday, and it will be fine.
I can't, mine now says leave the meeting. I know. Chair would entertain a motion for 8.4, please. Wait a minute, I'm sorry, we've got to vote. I can't even get mine brought up, I apologize. I'm going to say roll call again because I cannot vote.
Yeah, I was just actually, Madam Mayor, informed by IT that we'll just do roll call vote from here on out tonight.
Mine did too.
I have to vote.
Hers didn't.
It won't let me go anywhere.
Let's do the rest by.
Yeah, we'll
We'll
just,
just continue with roll call, manual roll call, if that's okay. And just for the record, we had a motion made by Councilmember Nutter, and that was a second by Councilmember Fletcher, I believe. No, it was Councilmember Abel.
No, it was Ms. Phillips.
No, the second.
that was 8.
I think it was Mr. Abel.
We're on 8.3.
I'm the one,
He seconded it.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify. for the
I have
record.
Nutter and Abel. Yep. We're good?
All ready?
All right, council, take, or roll call, please.
Sure. Councilmember Fletcher,
Aye.
Councilmember Nutter,
Aye.
Councilmember Phillips,
Aye.
Councilmember Abel,
aye.
Councilmember Hilst,
No.
Mayor Burris.
Yes. Motion passes 5-1. We have now come down to 8.4, please.
Madam Mayor, I move that ordinance number 4377-25/26, approving and authorizing the execution of a tax increment finance district and business development district redevelopment agreement with Twisted Spoke Saloon Corporation for the renovation of 251 Derby Street be approved.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Nutter and second by Mr. Abel. Mr. Dossi, once again.
Thank you, Mayor. This agreement's providing for an $85,000 forgivable loan with terms as follows. It's a 5-year loan term. The city gets first mortgage on the property. The business must generate $17,000 in sales taxes to the city each year, or the owner must pay the difference. If the owner defaults, he must pay back total amount owed with 5% interest. Staff is recommending approval of this ordinance.
Any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
How much is the Twisted Spoke currently generating in sales tax?
$0.
They're
They're not open.
They're reopening, yeah.
They haven't been open for, how long, you think, Dan?
Couple years anyway.
Yeah, year and a half.
August of 2024.
Okay. Somebody had expressed concern, they said that these owners had gotten breaks in the past. I don't mean to put anyone on the spot, but can anyone fill me in on the background?
Yeah, I mean, I can speak a little bit to what you might be referring to. So the owner of the Twisted Spoke also has a construction company. They were awarded a grant to renovate a dilapidated house under that program. So that could be what somebody was referring to. This is not a grant, this is a forgivable loan with strings attached to it. It's very similar to, for example, the agreement for St. Galley Steakhouse that was approved earlier this year. So I would say very different situations, but that might be what they were referring to.
Okay.
One question.
Nutter.
Did we get the verification on the liquor license from
perhaps.
Nicole?
I hadn't asked her today, no.
Is the liquor license for Twisted Spoke still active?
I believe so, yes. Yes, Mr. Steinbeck did renew, correct? Yes.
Is Dan here?
Yeah, he's back
Oh,
there.
I didn't see you in the back, Dan, sorry. So it is active,
I
okay.
believe it is, but
We need to
I
verify.
never say never, so we will verify that and get that back to you tomorrow, but I'm fairly certain it is.
Okay.
He's kept it up then. Okay.
He's waving something.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
that's,
you.
that, well, that's a good question to ask, Councilmember Hilst.
So what renovations are gonna be done then? I mean, if it's ready to open up right now and
Mr. Stein, if you can come up to the,
I didn't see any
The diet.
quotes or estimates on what work was gonna be done.
Yeah, Dan did give me a pretty detailed list. I mean, we're happy to share that anytime council wants. It's not typically something we put in the packet, but that's, Dan can speak to it.
Dan, how are you tonight?
Good, how are you guys?
Good, thank you.
Several things I'm gonna do. Exterior, the buildings getting repainted, new HVAC system, parking lot redone, it's been needed repaired for 10 years. Inside walls it has paneling on it that somebody spray textured, they're starting to warp, so we're tearing that off, completely redoing all the interior walls. Interior plumbing, updating all the fixtures, ADA compliant, just bringing it all up to date. Walk-in cooler upgrade, some windows on the south side on the railroad tracks, repair the drop ceiling, interior painting, electrical, and gutters.
You were
And I
just,
supplied all this.
you were just
He
saying
did.
with the license, you could serve tomorrow. Yeah, yeah.
I'm just making it nicer because
Yeah.
I've had it up for sale for a year and a half,
And you know what? We
Yeah.
appreciate that.
and I haven't had much luck for two reasons. People want to see it updated, but the biggest problem is the homeless. So that's why it hasn't sold.
Yeah.
Actually lost a sale over the homeless.
I remember you telling us that, but we appreciate you bringing it up to date. And I've noticed some other businesses on Derby are doing the same, so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay?
So-
Any other questions?
Yeah, a couple more real quick. This one for staff, just real quick. So is food and beverage, is that part of the BDD tax?
No, so the BDD is its own sales tax. Food and beverage is a local 2% tax on any prepared food or drink. So that is one of the incentives that is proposed as part of the package here. So it's a combination of home rule, 1 3/4% sales tax, 2% food and beverage, 1% BDD, and 1% regular sales tax. So
Even
it's a
though
total.
it won't be generating any revenue for that BDD?
Well, I'm not sure what you mean. It's in the BDD, so yes, it would be
Right, but you
generated.
said that food and beverage is not part of the BDD tax.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
That's pretty much
I'm-
what's
I'm-
being sold in that.
I misunderstood what you said. Yes, like a restaurant or bar's
Right,
sales
correct.
yes, the 1% does get applied to that. I apologize. I thought you meant is the food and beverage tax also part of the, no, I just misunderstood.
Okay. And then, last thing, is it just per how the agreement was negotiated? How do we determine what the dollar amount is gonna be on these
Yeah.
TIF agreements and what's being reimbursed?
Yep.
And the reason I ask is because if you look at the total cost of this project and then you look at how much is gonna be reimbursed, and then you look at those same two numbers from the last one that just got approved, those percentages are way different.
Yeah, so for forgivable loans, the way I talk to people is, look, we want the city to be able to recoup the dollars from your sales. So I start with the applicant and I say, what do you reasonably expect on your projection to be able to generate in sales? And then from that, I figure out what the city's portion of sales taxes are going to be. We see what kind of term they're comfortable with, 2-year term, 5-year term, ultimately what council's comfortable with. So in this example, $85,000 is $17,000 a year for 5 years. So that's, based on the owner's belief that they can generate that much, and if they can't, they're ultimately responsible for making up the difference every year. So that's the hook for people not over projecting, right? Because if he said, oh, I can make $5 million a year, he would owe us a lot of money at the end of the first year if he didn't actually generate it. So that's where the 85 came into play on this one. On a previous one, their projection for what they could do in sales was higher, so their, in my mind, their eligible loan amount is higher. That's the rationale.
So there's no cap on any of these agreements as far as,
To the extent that we have budget dollars available, there's only so much budget dollars available, and we don't exceed that, certainly. But no, we don't have a set policy for a maximum. Cullinan's deal was several $1 million. Like, I would say it just depends on the project, and the higher the dollar amount, certainly, as we get into the millions, we want things like corporate guarantees and that kind of stuff. On this one, we, have a mortgage provision. It's similar to St. Galli's.
all right, appreciate it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Dan, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to let Rick know something. I've got 15 years of selling down there, so I was able to project what it's gonna do at a bare minimum. Because this project's actually costing me $132,000, so you see the difference that I'm paying out of pocket. I didn't want to overextend and tell you that I'm gonna do X amount of dollars and not come through with it. I knew what I've done for 15 years, so.
And I wasn't specifically trying to direct that question at you personally. I was just kind of looking at more what our policy was, but I appreciate it.
I think it's his mic. Yeah.
One question, Josh. So when it comes back to reimbursing, are we splitting down the middle between Court Street and the BDD? How are we planning on doing it? I know
So-
we've had this kind of back and forth before.
Yeah, so basically, when I ask our TIF attorneys to write up a deal that's in both, I ask them to write the ordinance such that we could pay it out of either. I doing budgets and proposing a budget for next fiscal year. Well, I guess this one, we do intend the project to be finished before the end of the fiscal year. So on the request for action, I do note that it would be coming from the Business Development District Fund, Fund 277. We have budget dollars in there, and so no, it's not necessarily coming half and half. It's just, it gives the city the flexibility to decide, should the project extend into the future fiscal year, and, council wants to spend more BDD dollars on roads, we could spend it out of court TIF. Like, it's all about flexibility. But the intention is for it to be paid out of the BDD.
Okay. Dan, you gonna be, can you pinpoint a date when you approximately may be open?
Well, my goal is end of April, so I've already got plans in place based off this.
Okay.
I'll make an announcement tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, if there's no other questions, my computer came up. Shall we try to vote on here again? Everybody can vote on the machine?
Madam Mayor, IT had asked that we do not continue.
We do
with the-
not, never mind.
For the evening.
Madam Clerk, take roll call, please. Oh, I know, I'm not using it.
Don't touch it.
Councilmember Abel?
Aye.
Councilmember Hilst?
No.
Councilmember Nutter,
Aye.
Councilmember Fletcher,
Aye.
Councilmember Phillips,
Aye.
Mayor Burris.
Aye. Motion passes 5-1. Chair would now entertain a motion for 8.5, please.
Madam Mayor, I move that ordinance number 4378-25/26, approving and authorizing the execution of a tax increment financing district redevelopment agreement with Calvin and Martha Willard under the new residential TIF policy for 20 Osprey Court be approved.
That's 23, Osprey.
23, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
no worries.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Abel and second by Mr. Nutter. Mr. Dossi.
Thank you, Mayor. This project is a new home with a total investment of approximately $300,000, $52,409 of TIF-eligible expenses. Under the existing residential incentive policy, the total incentive given from the TIF fund will be up to $39,500 in property tax increment rebates over a period not to exceed 10 years. The actual incentive given will be based on the eligible expenses incurred in the new property assessment. This house does have a final certificate of occupancy and has officially transferred ownership from the builder, so it would normally not be eligible for TIF funding under the incentive application deadline policy recently passed by council, which was policy number 32. However, this is one of the legacy projects officially started well before the policy was established, and there is significant case law regarding unconstitutional takings related to changing regulations for projects that have already received permits. While council is never obligated to approve a TIF agreement, staff did not want to cause any potential legal issues by denying the application at the staff level, given that the project was underway when council changed the city's policy regarding TIF applications. There may be one or two other homes in this situation as well, and staff is working on contacting the home buyers to get applications as soon as possible. Staff is recommending approval of this ordinance.
Okay, before I open it up to council, I'm going to ask Mr. Ray, do we have any other lots on Osprey? I mean, we've been selling them, not we, but they've been selling them like crazy out there.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if there's any other vacant lots on Osprey. I think there
There
are
are.
a couple.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But,
I know that one of the people that live out there, he keeps saying, what are you doing? All the lots are being sold, so. I
Well,
want-
there's a couple empty lots. There's also a lot that is currently under construction, so there's still vacant lots out there.
All right, just curious. Okay, anyone from council?
I got real quick. I mean, there's a reason why we adopted that policy. The sentence in here about case laws and regulations and all that, I'll just remind everybody on the council that we've already voted another business down when they waited until after the project was completed to come and ask for TIF funds. And we did that before that policy was ever changed, and there were no issues with that whatsoever. So I'm not understanding what the issue is with this one, but that's just my 2 cents.
Any other council?
I honestly struggled with this one also. Josh and I talked today, and what we have, Josh, 2 other potentials or 3 other potentials?
I believe there's 2 left. So the first time that I brought one of these, there were 4. This is the second one, so I believe there's 2 left. We have reached out to those folks via contact information that we have available. I've not spoken with either of them. To clarify, Mr. Hilst, City Council is never obligated to approve a TIF agreement. The policy that was passed does state that staff is not to bring forward an application past the deadline. And in this gray area, I didn't want to be the one making that call. So, there is case law about unconstitutional takings. I don't know that applies here. That's usually zoning related and permit related, not incentive related. But I just didn't want to be the one making the call on that. So that's why it's before you. Again, there was 4 projects under construction when the rules were changed. I think it's fair personally that we give them the opportunity to come through with the policy. They bought the lot with the intention of doing this, and we changed the rules, which is fine. But It also shouldn't be forever. You know, I would understand that it shouldn't be 5 years from now, we're coming back and somebody's asking for their dollars. So
Right.
at some point, there should come a time when we've given them enough time. If that's now, that's now, but, you know, I don't want to be the one making that call.
Right, but and also, if somebody's asking through an application for TIF funds or to enter into a TIF agreement or BDD, whatever it may be, and they know that up front, they know before they ever buy that lot that that's the intent, that's why they're buying it, because they're gonna get the incentive. I mean, there's gotta be at some point some responsibility from the homeowner to come down on their own and fill those applications out instead of having the city track them down to do it. That's just how I look at that.
And from what I understand, you have reached out to the developer, reached out to potential builder to notify these people that that opportunity is out there. Now, that may be going over and above what we ought to do, but in all fairness, we're being transparent about it, that this is there. So my question to Mr. Vasselli is, does that affect our previous denial, I guess, was a rejection of that other TIF money?
It does not. I mean, it's a good question, but it does not. I think Josh's summary was excellent, but I do think there is a distinguishing characteristic with regard to these issues and the idea of the unconstitutional takings, because they are generally land use issues and diminution of value. In other words, you are reducing the value or the use of a property because of a regulatory change. Now, the concept and the policy is the exact same, and I think Josh nailed that on the head. But to go back and look at that with regards to a disparate impact on that, I don't think it really bears a lot of weight. And I'm not being disrespectful saying that. I just don't think there's a lot of cause for concern on that, council member. Is that okay, Madam Chair? Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you.
Mr.
Earned my keep tonight, sir.
Mr. Abel?
I understand the conversation now, but I keep thinking back to whether it's city-owned land or privately owned land, we get real happy when we add another item to the tax rolls. Here we're doing it. Obviously, we're not illegal. It may be a gray area, but that's another empty lot with a home on it and paying taxes.
Yeah, I'd like to be a good
We want
neighbor.
more of that.
And I understand that wholeheartedly, but my point is, it's already built, they're already living in it, and they did it without any incentives.
But I thought they were going to get the incentive, correct?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there is a significant level of confusion when it comes from city to builder to real estate agent to home buyer. And the process for how, a lot of people call me up, say, hey, I was supposed to get a tax rebate, and I'm like,
All
did
the
you
time.
ever, did you ever apply
All
for
the
it, like
time.
anything? They just don't know.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, we did set up the policy to accommodate for some of that, right? I mean, the non-residential projects, they have to apply for funding before they ever get a permit, before they ever spend a dollar, or else those dollars are not eligible. We did allow for some more time. I think it was a good idea to allow for some more time. You know, a home buyer has up until basically they get occupancy or take the lot from the builder. So that gives them, 6-9 months more time. So, I mean, I see both sides of this. I mean, I see that we want to keep the incentive going. We want to make sure builders know that we follow through on the policy that is established by council, so that when they're selling their lots, they can be confident in it. I also see the argument about people need to take personal responsibility and get their paperwork filled out, so.
Do we need to maybe give a little boost in education to the newer real estate people? Maybe they're not explaining it right or not explaining it at all.
Yeah, certainly, we can always try to communicate or simplify things. Ultimately, we only have so much power over what we say and then what gets lost in the grapevine, but that's where I'm coming from, so, I would recommend approval. Again, there's only a couple of these out there, but, it's your call.
Did you say our fault or our call?
Your call,
Oh, I-
CALL call.
Yeah, I thought your last point was good, that basically we're talking about 2 to 3 more potential homes where they started the deal understanding that this program was in place, and we changed the rules while they were expecting to still have time to apply for it. And I have no problem with continuing forward for these few exceptions.
I'm with you. Any other questions? Council, take your vote, please. Oh, sorry, roll call.
Councilmember Phillips?
Aye.
Councilmember Abel?
Aye.
Councilmember Nutter?
Aye.
Councilmember Fletcher?
Aye.
Councilmember Hilst?
No.
Mayor Burris?
Aye. Motion passes 5-1. Chair would now entertain a motion for 8.6, please.
Madam Mayor, I move that ordinance number 4379-25-/26, approving a real estate agreement with Jeff Lynn for the city-owned property at Coolidge Avenue and 13th Street be approved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Abel and second by Ms. Phillips. Once again, Mr. Dossi.
Thank you, Mayor. The city owned a small parcel of land right next to Mr. Lynn's property. He expressed interest in acquiring the property so he can expand his lot to build a garage. The city has no identified use or plan for the property. We did publish an RFP in 2025 for the lot and specifically sent notice to the other neighboring residents. No other proposals or inquiries were received. In discussing this further with Mr. Lynn, the city identified various public improvements that would be needed should the city deed him the parcel, including sidewalk, curb, and gutter work. Mr. Lynn has agreed to make such improvements in exchange for setting the sale price at $1. If the city were to sell a similar sized lot ready for residential development, we could expect to receive about $5,000 to $8,000. Given the required improvements, it will likely cost over $10,000. Staff felt trading the lot for the improvements is a fair deal. Furthermore, deeding the property to a private owner will add to the property tax base and relieve the city of property maintenance. Mr. Lynn will have 1 year from now to complete the improvements, or the city can take the property back. Staff is recommending approval of this ordinance.
Let's get it on the tax roll. Any comments? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Phillips? Aye. Councilmember Fletcher?
Aye.
Councilmember Nutter?
Aye.
Councilmember Hilst?
Aye.
Councilmember Abel?
Aye.
Mayor Burris?
Aye. Motion passes 6-0. Chair would now entertain a motion for 8.7, please.
Madam Mayor, I move that ordinance number 4380-25/26, amending Pekin City Code, Chapter 5, Regulations, Article 2, Alcoholic Liquor, Section 6, Restrictions on Issuance of License be approved.
Motion made by Mr. Abel and second by Ms. Phillips. Mr. Dossi.
I don't know if I should speak on this one or not, but I'll move ahead.
Let's go for it.
Under the current city code, the sale of alcoholic liquor is prohibited at gas stations within the city of Pekin. Pekin remains one of only a few municipalities in the region maintaining this restriction. The Pekin Liquor Commission has previously discussed and reviewed the matter and recommended amending the city code to remove this restriction. Some of the past discussions, historically, opposition to the packaged liquor sales at gas stations had focused on two primary concerns: mixing automobiles and alcohol. The city presently authorizes drive-through liquor purchases at other licensed establishments, indicating that policies are already in place to regulate responsible sales under similar conditions. And then impact on existing liquor establishments. While competitive impacts have been cited in the past, municipal regulations should not be used to restrict legitimate market competition among licensed businesses. The proposed ordinance would eliminate the current restriction preventing gas stations from applying for a liquor license. This change would not automatically grant any licenses, but would allow such establishments to apply for consideration under the same review and compliance standards as other applicants. If approved, the ordinance would take effect on May 1st to coincide with the city's existing liquor license renewal cycle. And recommendation is the city staff and the Liquor Commission have recommended approval of the ordinance amending the city code to permit gas stations to apply for liquor licenses for sale of packaged alcoholic beverages. This does align with the council's priorities and the recent strategic plan, providing for opportunity for growth and development.
Any questions?
Mayor, if I could just add one note.
Yes.
Under the financial impact section, I just wanted to explain that a little bit. It's pretty theoretical, but according to Retail Strategies, our retail consultant, our trade area, meaning that the area that people come to do commerce in the Pekin region, provides, our trade area provides $17.5 million in supply for this good compared to 26.8 million in consumer demand. So if the city were to realize 100% of that market gap at our current tax rate, that would equal an additional $185,000 in revenue. I do not expect that to actually occur. I mean, we're not going to capture the entire market segment that's shopping elsewhere just because we do this. But the point is, there is a real market segment that is buying their packaged liquor outside of Pekin. And I mean, anecdotally, I have literally heard people walking out of, a restaurant saying, hey, let's stop at the North Pekin Casey's on the way home to get, beer because we can't get it in Pekin. So there will be some revenue impact. I have no idea how much, but the point is there is a gap there that we're going to help cover with this.
Okay.
So what is the exact main reason for this being brought in front of us? Is it for development purposes?
I would not say that there's something ready to be proposed, but certainly we've talked to, I'll say, one serious developer that wants to bring in a gas station that is not in the Pekin area right now, but is in, I'll say, the larger Peoria region. And this is one of their concerns, that they're not going to be able to sell liquor right now. So I mean, I don't think it's going to cause people to just all of a sudden start knocking on our door. But again, I don't know why we have this restriction on the market. And if there's not really a good reason to have it, I would, recommend removing it.
Right, and you could flip that coin over and say just the opposite. If there's no real good reason to change it, why are we asking to change it?
Deregulation.
The only reason I'm asking is because, and you just gave an example about somebody leaving and driving back to Pekin and stopping at Casey's in North Pekin because they can't get beer in Pekin. Well, you can get it in Pekin. We got plenty of establishments that sell packaged liquor. They just don't do it at the gas stations. This has been brought to the council multiple times over the years, and the last two times it was brought to us, it was voted down 6-1 both times. And mainly because there was one gas station out there basically trying to hold the city hostage that if we don't change our city code, they're not going to build in the city.
And that's not the gas station that he's talking about. This is in conversations with some of the partners we're with, Retail Strategies,
Right.
and other people who are trying to bring businesses in and are having these conversations on our behalf out there. There's opportunity out there, and I think when he talks about the gap, that's the gap we're losing right now. They're going elsewhere to purchase this type of good. And the gas stations.
Who's going elsewhere?
His people, the traffic coming through Pekin.
People that live in Pekin are driving out of Pekin to go buy alcohol.
People, they're coming through, they're shopping in Pekin, they're coming from elsewhere, will bypass our region and go elsewhere to purchase. If I'm gonna go to North Pekin or whatever to pick up whatever, they're gonna shop real close by there. It's just like when they come out to Marshall's, they're hitting our other stores and things. Those are just the marketing things. That's coming from Retail Strategies. That's the people who are the experts in there. They are tracking where all the traffic is and going, and that's one of the things they brought up was, and I think that's what Josh is talking about in the financial impact with those numbers, is we know by the numbers that they track, we're losing that. It's leaving town and going somewhere else. Not necessarily people that live in Pekin. It's the opportunity of people coming in from outside of Pekin. We're losing that because they're going elsewhere. So
And that's going to change by allowing gas stations to sell it?
that's just one thing. There's other things that they look at as well, but this is just one of the opportunities we have right now. If we change, that could change for us.
Mr. Fletcher.
Rick, I'm a little kind of an expert on this because I've had a liquor license for 20-some years.
Perfect.
I will agree, I will say that I'm fine with this for the simple reason that we've tried to restrict it for, I think, some businesses in town. I believe that personally. I think that it's not our job to sit up here and determine whether you're going to drink and drive, because that happens every day. Whether if you're going to stop, you can stop at any bar in town and carry it out. You can stop at any Kroger's and get the beer. So why should we handicap a gas station that could be able to sell it? We might make some more tax money. My business in North Pekin, I hear my customers leave to go home, and I've heard several times, I'm going to stop over at Casey's and grab some. I can sell it if they want to take it out of the bowling alley, if I want to package it correctly and all that, but I do not because it's a pain in the rear end because of having the different sacks and that type of thing. So I feel I'm not supposed to regulate whether you can or cannot drink or drive, or, we all know what we're supposed to do on that.
Correct.
I just don't want to handicap a business. That's where I'm at on that.
Thank you. Anyone else? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Nutter?
Aye.
Councilmember Hilst?
No.
Councilmember Abel?
Aye.
Councilmember Fletcher?
Aye.
Councilmember Phillips?
Aye.
Mayor Burris?
Aye. Motion passes 5-1. Chair would now entertain a motion for 8.8, please.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that resolution number 384-25/26, authorizing additional spending authority for fiscal year 26 sewer lining project with Hair Construction be adopted.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Hilst and second by Mr. Nutter. Mr. Dossi.
Thank you, Mayor. At the September 22nd, 2025 City Council meeting, the City of Pekin awarded HARE the fiscal year 26 sanitary sewer lining project in the amount of $97,250 to complete lining projects on Herman Street, West Shore Drive, and Summer Street. The competitive bids for this project also included alternative bid prices for any additional work that the city may determine to be necessary to be included in this project. In November, council approved spending authority for an additional $30,000 to address a problem area on Rose Court and Main Street. Staff is now requesting spending authority for an additional $18,000, $145,250 total. The additional spending authority will be used to address problem areas being identified by the street department as well as HARE Construction. The additional work is anticipated to include both lining and potential point repairs where lining is not feasible without repair. The previously approved work was paused due to weather and temperatures in December. As work resumes, HARE has indicated they are ready to address additional areas in the same mobilization. Staff is recommending approval. And Simon, I believe, can answer any questions you might have.
Okay. Council, any questions? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Abel?
Aye.
Councilmember Hilst?
Aye.
Councilmember Fletcher?
Aye.
Councilmember Phillips?
Aye.
Councilmember Nutter?
Aye.
Mayor Burris?
Aye. Motion passes 6-0. We have now come down to 8.9. Are we going to have a school bus transition update, a discussion, since we tabled the other?
Did you want us to wait, or do you
Yeah.
want,
I think we should wait, Dave, but
Oh, yeah, I mean,
there's no reason to.
there's
add
no
that.
reason. I was shocked it was even on there,
Yeah.
so.
So we're gonna table that too as well. It was just a discussion anyway. We have now come down to other business to come before the council. Mr. Dossi, welcome back.
Thank you, Mayor, and I made it to the end.
You did.
I'm getting yelled at in my other ear.
Oh, are you?
Just a reminder, tomorrow, just to be clear, because I did see a few people posting on social media, is the town hall Tuesday, February 24th at the library, 6 p.m., discussing the process of developments. We are not planning to discuss data center. We have no further information on that yet. Hoping to have some before the March 24th, but just to try to answer some of the questions so people kind of understand what the process is and where exactly we are at
I think
in
that
the
would help a
process
lot.
with the
Yeah,
development.
I think that will help a lot, not just on data center, for everything.
Correct. Just a reminder, the 27th, I believe is this Friday, special meeting regarding budget. And just a reminder to the public about recycling starting every other week, starts on March 2nd. And that's all I believe staff has.
How about the rest of your staff?
I believe that's all they have.
Got one thing.
Chief Ranny.
Seth.
Just wanted to say thank you to the citizens. The police department participated in the Polar Plunge on Saturday for Special Olympics, And through 16 members of our team took the plunge and raised $8,000 for Special Olympics, which was second in the state of Illinois. So I thought that was very
nice.
good.
Great
So,
job.
thank you.
Great job. Where is that held?
Ours is in Peoria, downtown Peoria by Kelleher's.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I didn't know that. Thanks. Any other staff? You good, Mr. Dossi?
I am good.
All right. So I was asked to switch it up a little bit here. We are going to start with Mr. Fletcher.
Thank you. I have several things, unfortunately, so might be a
Okay,
few minutes
You're
here.
going to go last.
Yeah, well,
I'm teasing. Go right ahead. Floor is yours.
so I didn't think that I could get more negative emails than I have about the data center, but I was wrong. This recycling thing's not going to work. I'm going to read a mild one that I received this afternoon. As a resident of Pekin, I would like to make my opinion known about the recently announced biweekly recycling pickup schedule. I think that cutting pickups in half is a disservice to the more conscientious people of the city, the people who choose to recycle. Everyone should be encouraged to recycle more, not less. I don't understand the rollout of this process or why the Pekin Public Works Director would choose not to hire an additional employee. Is the Pekin Public Works Department not funded adequately? Or does the director have the authority to understaff his department? Either way, I am disappointed at the way this has been decided and communicated to residents. My response was, you're not nearly as upset as I am. I started receiving emails before the council had any idea that this was taking place, so I want the public to know this. There were stickers put out on recycle bins, and then the emails started rolling in. So I'm very upset because we've talked nothing but the 9 months that I've sat up here so far. It's transparency, transparency, transparency. No phone call to me, no emails, and as far as I know, no other council members received any information.
That part's true.
So I'm going to make a motion that the recycling service will stay the same until we are furnished reports of why. Why is that?
Yeah, you can't do it.
Okay, then I will make a motion to put this on the agenda at the next meeting.
If you'd like to, we could request, as long as another council member will, and that's, happens all the time. I just want to make sure that we're in compliance with the Open Meetings Act. We're not trying to stop you from doing anything here.
Sure.
We just want to make sure we're doing it.
I think it's
right.
fairly simple what the public would like to see.
100%. Yeah, council member will make sure this gets done if the process is followed.
Okay?
I'll second the motion to put it on for March 9th, or can we?
Third.
Or
Oh,
whatever.
council member, we cannot make a motion at this point in time because it's not on the agenda.
You'll have to
but-
put it in
right.
an email.
We'll put it in the email. We'll make sure that it's
Or
on.
we're going to do the official email to the appropriate parties.
I would like
put
to
it on.
follow the rules, yes.
I will
Follow the
send
rules.
the, I will send the
He's not
email.
making a motion, he's making a request to put something on the agenda. We've done that many a times at the end of the meeting.
Council member, we are, yeah, right, but he cannot. Okay, well, I'm just
That's
saying. you
legal
can't-
to do. He can do that, and he
Right,
can
but-
second it.
Okay, but it's not on the agenda.
Doesn't have to be.
Yeah, you can't
He's
take the
making a
vote.
request to
No,
put
you
it
can't
on
take-
the agenda.
Council member, I'm trying to make sure this is done the right way. And we can't take a vote on it tonight. That's all I'm saying.
Correct.
All I'm saying is you can't take a vote on it tonight. That's all I'm saying. So yes, and as I said to Councilmember Fletcher, I said, as long as someone else goes on there. I was kind of confident that Councilmember Nutter was going to do that exact thing. All I'm saying tonight is you can't take a vote on it tonight because
Right.
in the construct of the Open Meetings Act, there is not a line item about the recyclables. I've read the city code, not the whole way through, but I'm familiar with the procedures of this meeting tonight. And all I want to make sure is we don't take a vote tonight. That's all I'm saying, Councilmember.
We will make sure there is a document sent to the appropriate parties to put that item on the agenda for March, is it the 9th?
The 3rd, isn't
The
it?
9th.
The 9th,
9th.
okay.
And we will be sending a list of questions to be addressed at that time.
With bated breath, I look forward to it, Councilmember.
I know you do.
Thank
You
you.
know, I have mentioned March 9th about 3 times tonight. That is correct, Clerk? All right, thank you.
Okay, and I'm not finished yet on that, by the way. So
Time's up.
I did email, I want the public to know, I emailed Josh Ray, Madam Mayor, and Mr. Dawsey because he was out. And I did receive a response from Mr. Dawsey saying they dropped the ball, basically, and they were going to revisit this and get us information.
And Mr. Fletcher, I did get a hold of him, and he said, I will take care of this. We kind of dropped the ball. So-
But we never received any other information after that email.
Okay,
And to be clear, I reached out to you, and you said you could connect with me. I haven't heard back from you. But I did talk with Councilman Nutter and Councilman Hilst on a meeting, as I was on a phone or Zoom with that. So we have had some conversation on this. So-
Well, I emailed you, but probably should have been included, is all I'm saying.
And that's why when I had reached out to you, you were busy, and I said, when you get a chance, reach back out, and I hadn't heard back from you, so
Okay, that's fair.
we're good.
Second, the last thing I really have right here is questioning. We met 2-on-2s about Mr. Grogan's contract coming up. I haven't seen anything on that, but I heard he was in the building working. Is that true? And if so, is that an emergency?
That is correct. We're slated to have that contract go on March 9th. I feel like I'm repeating everybody. He was in last week because we had interim field work for the FY '24 audit for those 3 days.
And that was something that couldn't be done remotely.
It was beneficial to have him here for those 3 days.
So how are we paying him?
It's under my spending authority with that.
Okay. Noted. That's all for right now. Thank you.
thank you. Mr. Abel, you want to go ahead and take over?
Two quick things. Back to the recycling, just for people's information, the last 2 weeks of December, this past December 2025, we recycled 52 tons of recycling that kept it out of the landfill. I've been asked, what do we do and how much do we really recycle in a given period? I did find that out. Okay, that's one subject. Since the media's been covering the city, getting out of the bus business, and emphasizing we were the only city in the state that did it, which is true, I just wanted to let people know that the 3, maybe 4 times we went out for bid to see how we were doing on pricing against the stock owner-owned companies, Laidlaw, First Student, et cetera, we come out way low every time. So we were saving the taxpayers' money over these years, even though we were the only one in the state doing it. I don't know if these other districts didn't want to go out and see if they're paying too much to pay First Student or whatever they got, but anyway, just to let everybody know, I think it was 3 or 4 times we went out for bid, and the city was under bid every time, so we were, in the long run, saving the taxpayers' money all this time. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and start with Mr. Hilst.
Just one quick question that's been brought up. There's been some people curious if that town hall meeting next month up at the high school is going to be televised and broadcasted live.
We don't have any capability of broadcasting live from there at that meeting.
Okay, so no is the answer to
The
that?
no would be the answer. If we were going to broadcast it, we'd have to do it here.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
I have a follow-up with, since Mr. Hilst brought that up, what is this, how much is this costing the city to host it there?
I don't know yet. I mean, I don't know that, I don't know if the high school is going to charge us that. I know we have to pay for their personnel to be there to run the equipment at an hourly rate of $50 an hour, so, and I don't know how many people that'll be. It'll
Okay.
probably be a couple.
I was just curious if it
Couple
was
people anyway.
a cost or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Nutter?
Thank you. I want to follow up on something that we just did. So, and it pertains to recycling. So we talked about implementing the recycling, is it March 2nd? So now we're going to put it on the agenda for the 9th. What are we going to do? Are we doing it? Not doing it? What's the thought? Well, let me finish. The reason is it may impact what we discuss on the 9th. So we've already halfway communicated. I'm not so sure it's been all communicated to everybody for the week of the 2nd. I'm not 100% sure, because I just saw a document tonight that's different than the original document I looked at. So I just want to clarify that, because are we or aren't we? Because we're, what, a week away?
I think just to clarify a couple things, because a lot of people are stating we're cutting service in half. That is not accurate. Recycling was provided at no additional cost, if you go look on that. And what we're doing is Simon had the better wording on it, but we're right-sizing what we're doing, but it's just an operational efficiency going to every other week recycling. That's what every other community is doing around us. Peoria's gone to that, East Peoria's gone to that. So we've been taking a look, and council's been asking us to take a look at this for the past 2 years. Opportunity arose, so instead of going and hiring somebody and then turning around and having to lay them off, Simon came to me, asked, said, hey, what's your thoughts on this? Well, if we can make it happen, then let's do that. Taking a look at it, they proposed doing it March 2nd to start with that. Now, how are we looking at impact on, going to the bigger tote? That's to be discussed. Now, can that be discussed a little bit down the road? Because right now, we're down that driver, so we really need to start March 2nd, every other week recycling that's out there on the A and B route, I believe is what they put out there on it. Because I don't have that second person unless we go ahead and figure out the overtime or whatever. But that's a conversation we can have tomorrow or tonight later before we leave, and let him figure out how he wants to move forward with that. But that's the
So you
conundrum
answer
we
my
get thrown
question, we're
into.
going to move forward with
Yeah,
it, but there's a
The plan was we were
possibility.
going to move forward with it, and then we were going to work out as far as the trash can, and we talked a little bit about a potential discount that could be applied there and things. Just haven't had a chance to look at all those numbers. I haven't been here the last 2 weeks to take a look at that.
I get it. So I just want to clarify, we're still moving forward with it, with possible modification
That's-
after the 9th.
That's the plan, depending on what council gives direction on.
Okay, sounds good. So, Ms. Beinforth, did that answer any of your questions? Probably not, but, okay. So, stay tuned for further details. Okay, sounds good. Yeah,
We don't-
Reach out to me tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll,
Yeah, reach out to me tomorrow. If you don't have, if you have some time. Right up here.
that's a good question.
Be careful what you ask for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same thing, and I'm going to address the bus driver thing right now. We don't know exactly where we're going to be contract-wise, but there will be opportunities for those bus drivers that we currently have to be hired by either grade school or high school, but there may be some that don't have a position, and that's a loss of employment, and I get your point. So. Well, there'll be some other information come out. So I want to address a couple things, the hot topic. And that hot topic is the data center. I am somewhat offended of being accused that we are taking kickbacks. There are other high-power people supplying money to this council. I will go on record and say, I have not received one dime from anybody that's involved with WHP, anybody at all. I'll be glad to give you my tax records. Everything else that I get, I have received zero. I will tell you that I didn't even know what a data center was until this started, and my brain is overloaded with all the data I've received. It's a lot.
Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing that up, because it's not just you.
I was going to, too.
It's staff members and everything else, and it's absolutely not true.
It questions our integrity, Dave. And
I get it, so I'm glad everybody else supports my statement and everything, because I know it's not just me.
I was going to bring it
So,
up.
What's that?
Where'd that information come from that we were being accused of?
Oh, it was spoken about tonight by two people
It-
that
it-
had to do.
it's all over social
it's-
media.
Yeah, so, anyway. So,
Yeah.
my pockets are not being lined by the data center, and I am going on record tonight, after listening to the public for at least 3 meetings, more than that, all the emails, all the phone calls, all my personal contacts that I get, I am against the data center. I will be voting against the data center. It is not the right fit in the right place. Data centers are going to happen. There is no doubt about it, all over the country, U.S. and international. It is not the right fit for Pekin, Illinois. I listen to the citizens, I listen to the people that vote, and this is not a Republican or a Democratic side. When we run for office, it is not political. Now, people think it is, but it's not. So I'm not taking it from a Democratic or Republican side. I'm taking it from the common sense that the public does not want it. They voted us to support them, to do the right thing for the city. So I'm on record saying I will not vote for it.
Well said.
Ms. Phillips?
It's been quite a night, hasn't it?
You bet.
Well, first thing, I want to say I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night's presentation at the library. And tomorrow night is also my niece Kiri's birthday, so I want to send a shout out to Kiri, to my grandniece Lily, and it's my mom's birthday. So I'm going to have fun being with city council and thinking of all of them on their birthday, and I think that's a wonderful day, a wonderful way to spend the evening away from work. I would wish them happy birthday on Facebook, but I'm boycotting Facebook. I have been thinking a lot about everything that people have been said about the damage that data centers are doing right now. And it's made me question everything I do with my devices. I think the gentleman a few weeks ago who said the most important thing we can do is just stop using them. And the fact is that right now, every time we use it, we're harming another community who are living with the existing data centers. And if we're going to stop the proliferation of these things, then we have to start by taking the profit out of these things. And we start that by stopping using them. AI can be a lot of fun, but if we don't need it, we shouldn't be encouraging it. And I personally, like I said, I can't say I'm completely good about boycotting everything that deserves it, but I really feel in this situation right now, with what the oligarchs are doing, what we know they've been done, we ought to think a lot about who's getting the profits off of our psyches when we're on Facebook sharing these things. So that's my sermon. Thank you for your time.
Doggone, I'm going to figure out who goes first next time. Okay, I want to remind everyone, as you probably saw driving up Court Street today, cones are back out and they are moving, they're working. They still are hoping, saying that if weather permits and everything's on time, Court Street will be done by the end of this year. Hats off to everyone, the engineer, the public works, everyone that had anything to do with it. Thank you so, so much. I tried, and I don't even know the name of it, the new hibachi restaurant, or not restaurant, the cart on 8th Street truck. Yeah, on 8th Street. It's very, very good. What's the name of it? Katanas? Katanas? Yeah. So once again, we have another place that is open in Pekin. It's been open maybe a week. And I do want to echo what Dave said about the data center as far as, it does hurt deeply that our integrity, all of our integrity up here, because it wasn't just singling out one of us, it was singling out all of us. And that is, that we're getting kickbacks, and it's so not true. And I guess like Dave said, if you want to see my account, you can see my account, but there is no kickbacks. And it was brought to us. We didn't go out and seek, it was brought to us. We have a job as council to figure out if it's right or not, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. So, that's all I have to say. You may. Yeah.
And when you brought up Court Street.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're doing Court Street. That makes me real happy. But what are we gonna do about Motel 6? That is an eyesore.
I'm so glad you brought that up. So,
That
I don't know
is
how much
such an
time we have,
eyesore.
but we are hoping by the end of summer, we can announce, there is a new owner, and I know Pekin Insurance is probably saying, thank you, Lord, every day, that there's going to be somebody renovate it. And we're hoping it can be announced by the end of summer.
Well, I saw one guy there, and he was kind of taking pictures and everything. This has been about 2 months ago. And I asked him, and he said the developer was still working on, because, the siding's falling down.
Oh, yeah.
And I said to him, well, there's only one thing I want. And he goes, well, what's that? And I said, it's not going to be any good to nobody else, but I want the small McCritter sign. I work there.
Mayor, if I may.
Have that sign.
All right.
For the sake of time, because we do have a lengthy exec
That
session.
little bitty one, not the big one.
If-
but the
All right, we will keep that in mind. Thank you.
If people will tune in to What's the Story Pekin, we are actually talking about that. The developer is meeting with them.
Excellent.
And talking Thursday, excited about it. And as far as the McCritter sign goes, it's a no-go.
It's a no-go.
I asked, and the owner said the owner of McCritters has already asked for it, and that's
Okay.
who's going to get it.
All right, well, there's your answer on that one. But tune in to, I don't know if you guys listen to that, What's the Story, Pekin? It's a great, every so often we'll have it. It's a great little story. All right, Chair, and entertain a motion to go into executive, please.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we move into executive session to discuss 5 ILCS 120/2C2, collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees, and C11, litigation, when a public body finds that an action is probable or imminent.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Helston, second by Ms. Phillips. Do we need a break, or are we heading right in?
Well, we vote.
Okay, we'll take
Madam
a
Mayor, we need a roll call first, though.
roll call, please.
Vote. Councilmember Nutter?
Aye.
Councilmember Fletcher?
Aye.
Councilmember Phillips? Aye. Councilmember Abel? Councilmember Hilst?
Aye.
Mayor Burris?
Aye. Motion passes 6-0 to go into executive with a 5-minute break.